Well, according to the president of the ECOWAS Commission, the West African sub-region recorded an economic growth rate of 6.9% in 2012. The figures, which compare favorably with the 5.3% for sub-Saharan Africa and 4.5% for Africa over the same period, were driven mainly by good rainfall and positive developments in the mining and petroleum sectors. Well, for a look at the broad West African market, I'm joined in the studio with Bismarck Rewani, the CEO of Financial Derivatives. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, the West African sub-region recorded an economic growth of 6.9% in 2012. Now, that's double the global rate on an increase of 5.9% recorded in 2011.
Yeah.
What, in your opinion, drove this growth?
Two things. One, post-conflict political stability, the discovery of petroleum in many other countries, in Ghana, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and basically democratic and reform-oriented policies. So in most of these countries, in Senegal, in Sierra Leone, and in Ivory Coast, there were true and democratic elections that took place, and there were changes of government.
Well, in spite of the global slowdown,
Yes.
using that term, well, West Africa regional growth remained robust.
Yes.
Now, the figures compared favorably with the 5.3% for sub-Saharan Africa and 4.5% for Africa over the same period.
Okay, let's take two examples.
All right.
Sierra Leone had 18% growth. Ghana at one point in time got as high as 15%, then dropped a little bit. So if you take those two countries, and those are significant in the entire composite of West Africa. Right. Even Nigeria itself, the Bureau of Statistics have issued their statement saying that Nigeria had 6.99% in 2012. All of these were, and Nigeria is 65% of the West African economy. All of these countries performed higher than sub-Saharan African average, higher than the global average, and higher than expectation in spite of a declining growth environment globally. One of the things, agriculture did very well, petroleum did well, cocoa did well, and in Ghana, of course, oil and then tourism did well in Ghana as well.
Well, do you think this growth, is sustainable?
It is sustainable because of three things. One, investment in infrastructure is increasing in West Africa. Two, the reform policies, the policies on inflation, on exchange rates and all of this are very, very forward-looking. And thirdly, it's a big market. Okay. There's greater mobility. You can see that in between West African countries, there's been a lot of movement of goods, flows, and investment flows of, and basically, if you look at the common external tariff, we now have almost 5,000 goods that have been listed as things that we have common tariffs. So that reduces the amount of smuggling. The informal economy in Nigeria, for example, thrives mainly and purely on the back of the West African trade.
All right, now with regards to the political crisis in Guinea-Bissau and Mali, well, how much impact has this had towards the growth in that region?
The Mali crisis started later in the year, and Guinea-Bissau is marginal in the West African picture. If you net that off against the positive of having Ivory Coast after 7-8 years of crisis back and normal, if you take that against Liberia, where they've had a couple of elections, Senegal, you find that the positives are far in excess of the marginal negatives.
All right, now, so let's go there. What's your outlook for the West African economy in 2013? I mean, taking into consideration the PIB bill yet to be passed in Nigeria, the private sector yet to step in, as a main driver in the power sector, and Ghana with its huge deficit.
Well, let me start. The first trip the Ghanaian president made was to come to Nigeria to ensure that the West African gas pipeline was opened and that the power constraint was removed in Ghana. Ghana has a couple of other oil finds that are going to come on stream. There's no question of the fact that Ghana is going to recover. All the deficit you had was the pre-election issue. Now the elections are over, the reform policies are going to kick in, and we're going to see some stability in the Ghanaian economy. If you look at Nigeria, whether you like it or not, Nigeria is going to grow at 7, maybe to 8%. The power reform is taking off, and a couple of interesting developments are taking place. Nigeria is still suboptimal, but it's doing much better than it was doing 2-3 years ago. I think so. Nigeria is on track. Ghana is on track. Ivory Coast is a clincher. And more than anything else, regional integration issues. The Nigerian president talked about a new road from Ivory Coast all the way to Lagos, Abidjan to Lagos, all the way to Calabar, the east-west road. We think that the best days of the West African economy are yet to arrive.
You just said the best of the West African economy are yet to arrive. Do you think there's anything we can actually do wrong at this time that could, turn this around for the negative?
Difficult to see how you could, because once the policies are correct, the institutions are strengthened, and the leadership is responsive, right, in terms of in a democratic setting. The only thing that can derail the West African growth experiment is political instability. So if Mali is actually contained and the Boko Haram issue in Nigeria is actually managed effectively, then you probably begin to see 9–10% growth across the region of West Africa.